Right, everyone. What's up? What's up?
Happy
Welcome.
Monday.
Happy Monday, right? It is Monday.
I know.
It's been a minute since we've done this here, so getting back into our groove, but welcome everyone to Directions. I am the Director of Recruitment Marketing here at 43 North, Christian Gaddis. And as always, I am joined by my friend,
Carly Ortiz, the Senior Talent Manager at 43 North.
I mean, we're excited to be back. I'm going to give everyone a chance if you haven't already, right? Give us a follow. That's my LinkedIn right there. Connect, send me a message. Let's chat if you're interested in learning more about startups and some opportunities around here, or you can connect with my friend Carly.
Over there.
Over there. Yeah.
Good stuff.
Good stuff.
You know, I will say I've had a few people message me and connect with me.
Yeah.
And have had people kind of maybe interview or just at least get connected and chat about resumes. So it works.
Those connections are critical. They're crucial, really, to, finding your way sometimes.
For sure.
Another great way to find your way to some opportunities is to check out our job board, 43northcompass.org, if you have not been yet.
Check it out.
All of the latest startup opportunities that exist around here in this area. Maybe you've seen our new billboard while you're driving on the 190 North. So anyone who's seen it, hopefully you've checked it out. I'm a fan.
Me too.
I'm a fan. We got a little edgy. We had to ask people, are you driving to a job you hate, right? Because if you are, my friend Carly over here can help fix that for you.
Yes.
Yeah. So if you haven't seen it, check it out. It's on our socials, or go see it live. Go just loop the 190, just back and forth, right? Just drive around that thing and check it out. But we're super excited for it. We hosted a great event. We did Go Where You're Celebrated.
Last week.
In celebration of and in honor of Juneteenth. Brought together some great founders and entrepreneurs of color. Had a great conversation at Northland Workforce Training Center. Yeah. It's like a mouthful. Every time I go to say that, I stumble a little bit.
Okay.
But it was a great conversation, just a great opportunity to take a step back and kind of look at the journeys that these founders have been on, and then also, talk a little bit about what their hopes for the future are, right? And how we build an ecosystem that celebrates founders of color and celebrates diversity and, looks to those things, knowing that kind of is what's going to strengthen and build our community. So if you missed it, I'm sorry, but I will say there are a lot of other great events that we have coming up. One thing that I always want to remind people of, to save the date, and you'll hear this from now until October 10th, 43 North Finals, 10-year celebration on 10/10. So a lot of 10s in there.
Can't forget it.
And I think the show is going to be a 10 out of 10.
Whoa.
Yeah, I had to do that.
Okay.
Drop. All right. So enough from us, right? I know you all are here to hear from one of our great friends in this ecosystem, Hadar Borden. So we're going to bring her out from the virtual back in a little bit. But before we do that, I just want to remind everybody, right? We have a Q&A. So if you have any questions, drop them in the chat. We will get them over to Hadar. We'll talk through all those things. But otherwise, we got a great conversation lined up that we're excited to have. So we're excited to bring Hadar out and to chat with her. So without further ado,
here we go.
Everyone, welcome to Directions, Hadar Borden. Hadar, thank you so much for joining us. We're so happy to have you.
Hey, wonderful to be here with both of you. How you doing?
We're great. We're great. Yeah. So, typically this is how we kick things off, and we love to kind of start with our favorite interview question. So Hadar, would you just tell us a little bit more about yourself?
Sure. So I have been at the University of Buffalo for just 22 years professionally, and then was a student here back in the day as well, but have been in a variety of roles at the university. So this role is focused on entrepreneurship and innovation. But I always say I've been an entrepreneur ever since I came back into the university in a professional role. I've always kind of started something or given life to something in the different roles, whether I was in the Office of Admissions or when I went into the Honors College, or in my former role as the director of our Living and Learning community, and of course the Western New York Prosperity Fellowship, and then kind of bringing me into this space. So I've always been, as we say, and you've seen some of our t-shirts saying like, this is what an innovator looks like. I've truly owned the innovator title and the entrepreneur at the University of Buffalo. And well, not wearing it today, but I usually bleed blue and white, right? So got to bring some of the summer colors in these days.
Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, we've earned some summer, right? So we
Right?
might as well enjoy it.
Yes, yes. So, have been in Western New York for a majority of my life, and have been just blessed to have an opportunity to engage both on campus and in the community with partners like yourself.
Yeah, and I mean, Hadar, we love having you as a partner. I think you're one of those people where, it's so funny because I feel like every time we talk to anyone involved in looking to connect with students, we're like, have you talked to Hadar? Or even, right, we have people coming up to us, they're like, we talked to Hadar, and we're like, yes, okay, we know, we got it, we're on the same page. Yeah, first box absolutely checked. And so I'd love to dive into a little bit more about, right, that building that entrepreneurial and that innovator spirit,
Mm-hmm.
inspiring students to do that, right? I think about myself at the college age, and I needed a lot of inspiration, to say the least, right? So what are some of the things that you all do to kind of get students involved, get them engaged, and to really spark that interest in them?
Sure. So we focus really on providing students with an opportunity to practice those innovation skills, whether it's growth mindset or leadership or creativity, critical thinking, giving them an opportunity to just think about those skills, what they have within themselves, what they're learning in the classroom, what they're passionate about, and just bring it all together, right? So it's really focused on those skills, those competencies, some would say, and giving them an opportunity to demonstrate what they have learned, and what they hope to accomplish. And really, whether our business, and what I always say to folks, is providing a platform for students to embrace their entrepreneurial spirit, develop their entrepreneurial, their innovation skills, to be founders, right, to start their own companies, but also to be innovators and leaders in their own career path, that designing their own pathway forward. That's what we're all about here.
Yeah. And I've been participated in one of the innovation sprints, which is right, one of those kind of key events, and key things that really can help to engage students right in that innovative, engage in that part of their innovative brain, and really get them going on those. So yeah, I'd love to just, for someone who's new to the stream, who maybe hasn't or is not familiar, would love for you to dive into a little bit of what, right, an innovation sprint is, and kind of what it all entails.
Yeah, so innovation sprints are similar to like a hackathon, but they're much more inclusive, right? They're a way for people to embrace a challenge that's being presented by an organization, a company. So we usually have an organization that we're partnering with in our community, whether it's an established organization or a startup. They present the challenge to the students, and our students have an opportunity to use their skills, their creativity, their resourcefulness, and develop solutions for that organization around the challenge statement. And it provides our students with an opportunity to wrestle with a real life, real time, real industry problem, an issue for an organization, and provide a solution. And it gives them experience in tackling that solution, right? And demonstrates to organizations that talent that we have at the university at Buffalo, that opportunity to showcase what our students' skills are and what they're capable of accomplishing, whether on their own and together. For our students, I love it because I always hear from students, well, I want to be a consultant, right? And I'm like, okay, great. What industry? They're like, I don't know. I just want to be a consultant. So these innovation sprints give them these like bite-sized experiences of what it's like to consult within different industries with different companies, whether it might be a foodpreneur that we are partnering with, or a fashion company, right? Or an energy company. The innovation sprints are an opportunity for our students to kind of stitch together different experiences over their collegiate university career. And then they can showcase them when they go out for internship opportunities or interviews for full-time employment. They can say, well, here are some of the projects, right? These experiences that I've had, and demonstrate that they're not just about learning inside of the classroom, but they look for opportunities to learn outside of the classroom in collaboration with others.
That's awesome. Hadar, tell people who might be joining us today a little bit about like the students that we're speaking of, or that you're speaking of right now. Are they students who are like in a certain class? Is it something that they're doing from freshman year to senior year? Like at what level do these students need to be? Obviously this is at UB, but tell us a little bit about like where those students are at in their collegiate journey.
Sure. So we support at the Startup and Innovation Collaboratory powered by Blackstone LaunchPad. We support students from all academic disciplines, and from freshmen, first-year students through PhD students, right? So we support everyone that is enrolled at the university. And it's come as you like. Right? So you don't have to enroll in our program. We're co-curricular. We complement, enhance the students' experience at the university. And they don't have to sign up for a year or the entire 4 years at the university. It really is choose your own adventure as you see something that seems of interest to you to complement your academic program or provides you an outlet, right? A creative outlet. Students can come in. So our experiences are master classes, innovation sprints we talked about. We've got design challenges that students might engage in. And so they don't necessarily have to subscribe, if you will, for a particular length of time. Ebbs and flows in their engagement.
That's wonderful.
That's great. I'm so happy that you actually mentioned the Startup Innovation CoLab powered by Blackstone, because I realized that we dove right into all our questions, right? Because we know what it is, but maybe some folks on the live stream don't. So could you give us just like an overview of what the CoLab is, and kind of how it works, and really the mission behind the organization?
Sure. So we were started in 2016, powered by Blackstone LaunchPad through the Blackstone Charitable Foundation. And we're really focused on connecting the dots on campus and in the community, and providing our students an opportunity to really, as I've said before, embrace their entrepreneurial spirit, build entrepreneurial skills and innovation skills that help them create businesses, but also help them write their career path, write their trajectory along the way. And we do that through different offerings. So we host master classes where students can pick up skills that might not be readily available and accessible to them in their academic program. So you might be thinking, well, you're a geography major, you don't have access maybe to business classes, but you want to gain exposure to building a brand, right? So they might come to a master class on that. Or you might be an English major and you don't know anything about financials, but you want just a bite size about that. A master class that we offer would provide that to our students. We host lots of competitions, whether they're a monthly get seated competition where it's the audience that votes and makes a determination as to who walks away with $500, to competitions like Panache, where we're giving away $75,000 in cash and in-kind services. So we provide these opportunities for students to gain skills, but also demonstrate what they've learned, what they're curious about. I think it's all about providing an outlet for curious individuals to explore their interests, right? You might not be interested in starting a business today, but maybe 10 years down the road, after you've had experience working for an organization, you might want to take that leap. We're providing those tools early on for our students so that when they're ready, they can jump into that path forward. We host innovation skills, design challenges, lots of opportunities for our students to learn what's possible to be innovators within an organization and for themselves.
Yeah. That innovation key, right? And those experiences, it's so crucial. I know when I first started, right, at 43 North, and we would bring in students to talk about the opportunities that exist in this startup ecosystem. And so often I get that stare like, wait, those type of jobs exist here. Those type of opportunities exist here. And so it's such a great thing for students to understand that, right? Like, they don't know what they don't know, obviously. And so exposure to all of the different things and the skills that they need are so critical. And it's so crucial, right, to get them out in the community and help them even with things like networking,
Right.
and making sure that they know how important it is to connect with people.
Yeah,
Just
absolutely.
piece of it too. Like you could be studying whatever at UB, and like you have just like a little bug to do something else or to learn something. How great of a center to be able to go to and say, all right, I'm going to test this out, or I want to take this type of class. And it's just an add-on to your resume.
It's all about proximity, and the people that engage with our center are here because they want to, and they want to support students along their trajectory. So all of our offerings, I've got a team that's terrific in facilitating and hosting the experiences, but the partners that make the programs come to life are our alumni and friends of the university that are pouring into our students. And truly, they open doors, they encourage our students along the way, right? They share all of their own experiences in hopes that it will guide the students. So I always say, if you're looking for a way to expand your network, and you might not be super comfortable, right, going out there to a networking event, come to one of our programs, because these individuals have already kind of raised their hand to say that they're interested in supporting and guiding students along the way. So this is like a safe space, a safe avenue to approach building your social capital, expanding your circle, and you never know who you're going to meet and who they know, right? Who's in their circle that they will introduce you to. And this is what college is all about, right? It's about exploring and new opportunities, but this is in a safe space.
Yeah. And I mean, I can attest to that. You never know, right? You brought a student to our floor as part of the Prosperity Fellows kind of intro tours. And, he was looking for an internship. And needless to say, right, again, he ended up working with me for the past, for that past summer, just off the happenstance of kind of us being in the room together, connecting, having some shared experiences, and then saying, hey, like, I have an internship opening. Do you want to come join? So, if there are any students watching this, when Hadar says you should come check out this event, you should come check out this event. Because there are so many great opportunities to be had.
Right. Leverage every opportunity that's afforded to you, right? You never know what's going to come of it. I'm that crazy person that, probably you're like, is she okay? Like, I talk to everyone, parking lot conversations, elevator, right? Like, we're all in it together. And this community, I've started to embrace this, the Buffalo moments, right? And so the more that we embrace one another, the more that we create opportunities for collaboration, for partnership, the stronger this community as a whole is. So I try to lead by example and encourage our students to do the same, right? You might not be super comfortable in a space, but it's okay. Everybody else is kind of making their way through. And if I've learned something over the time that I've been in Western New York, it's that connections matter, right? Community matter, and just a friendly smile and genuinely being interested in other people really matters, goes a long way.
Definitely.
Yeah, totally does. Totally does. So, I know I kind of touched on the Prosperity Fellows, but I would love for you to kind of talk through, right, programs like that and others maybe that you have that really, right, help students find opportunities like internships or kind of form those deeper connections with businesses, with startups, with companies in the area.
Yeah, absolutely. So the Western New York Prosperity Fellowship Program is funded by a very generous private family foundation, the Prentice Family Foundation. And we've been in partnership with the Prentice Family Foundation since 2009, and I've had the privilege of supporting the program since 2010. So it's now close to 15 years. And over 300 alumni at the University of Buffalo, but also at Canisius University. And so the focus of the program is to identify and support students that demonstrate promise to contribute to economic development in this Western New York region. These students are interested in starting their own businesses, being leaders in this community, and want to contribute their time, talent, expertise to uplifting this region from an economic standpoint. And so they do have an opportunity to complete internships in the community, and 43 North has been terrific in opening your doors, but also the portfolio companies that you host, right, that you bring into this community have supported our fellows to learn about this community and gain professional experience from a different perspective. I've been in this community for a long time, and I've heard from individuals that we need to make sure that we retain talent in Western New York, right? And the best way for us to do that is to open our doors. And the Prentice Family Foundation has been a leader in helping our students, our exceptional students, our fellows, to identify spaces in this community where they can contribute by supporting them as Prosperity Fellows. Most recently, just this year, we launched, just a couple of weeks ago, actually, we launched a new program with their support, the Western New York Sophomore Externship Experience. And this is another initiative, another offering that the Prentice Family Foundation is providing our community as a way to retain talent or entice it to come back to this community. So students that just completed their sophomore year at college or university were eligible to apply. And they are students at the University of Buffalo, but also any student from any Western New York college or university, and any sophomore that graduated from a Western New York high school. So if you were a kid that attended Lockport High School and went to Xavier for college and you just completed your sophomore year, they were eligible to apply. So it's all about talent retention, but also incentivizing those individuals that are away to come back and to help them make some connections and build roots and professional relationships. And the Prentice Family Foundation really wanted them to gain the professional experience and awareness early on in their collegiate experience. That's why we called it externship, because it's a student's first exit out of college or university into a professional setting, and hopes that next year when they come back and they're rising seniors, they're looking for another internship, they decide on Western New York. They get stickier, right? And so when it comes to looking for employment, they'll have all the resources that they need to settle here in Western New York. So these are some of the initiatives, that we're hosting. That's part of the Western New York Prentice Family Foundation support.
Yeah, I mean that stickiness, right? It's critical. It definitely, won't hide it, but it definitely makes this one's job a little bit easier. When there's a big pool of qualified students, or even people that are eager, right, to be a part of it. Again, I know for me, not being from the area, when I first came here, a lot of the stories that I heard from people were, I knew I had to leave to start my career. And so, seeing the change even in the mindset of, I don't have to leave. And, I always encourage students, right, if you want to explore some other community, by all means, go and do it. But know that, right, you have opportunities right here in your own backyard if you're interested and want to be here and you see yourself doing that.
Yeah, so many opportunities. And I think 43 North and all of the portfolio companies, the entrepreneurial ecosystem that's been created here, really providing our students with so many experiences that they can have, right? I keep on saying bite size, but it could be an internship experience that you pursued during your collegiate time, during the fall or spring semester or winter semester. You have an opportunity. There are organizations. I've really been impressed by our startup organizations that are really excited to bring on interns and have been very intentional about the experience that they're offering to the students. And I always tell students, like, your best opportunity to learn is with a startup, because you could be working on marketing one day and learning how to present and do financials another day, right? Like, where else do you kind of get all of the things that all the functions of an organization you have access to? So it's really an exciting way to explore, especially when students don't really know where they want to land. I think this community, what the two of you are offering, that access to organizations, is really valuable for our students to continue in their exploration.
Yeah, I mean, we are, that's been one of the biggest pushes for us, right? Is we want to make sure that students and really anyone looking for opportunities can have access. You don't, I know I said it earlier, but you only know what you know, right? And so sometimes having someone who can ask a question or prompt something in you that makes you think of something a different way or share some knowledge can be critical, can make a huge difference in your journey. And, for us, even creating situations where it's a lower bar for entry, right? It's more casual. So that way, like you mentioned earlier, if you're a student or someone who's not sure of where you are in your career, and, it can be nerve wracking to go in front of a room full of people at a career fair and have a conversation. But, if we're just posted up somewhere for office hours, being able to access us and ask a simple question very specific to you can make the whole difference. Speaking of asking a question, we have one in the chat.
Great.
Our friend John, he's kind of a super user in terms of our live stream. So looks like John is a UB alum, looking to find, an opportunity towards what looks like towards the end of his career. And he's wondering if there's a specific mechanism in place through your organization for seasoned UB alums, or at least a willingness to assist an individual within your existing process. So I think he's just looking to know, right, is the Startup Innovation CoLab. Is that something that alumni can take advantage of? Or are there any other programs or things that they can kind of participate in on the side of a job seeker or someone seeking an opportunity?
Sure. Well, great question. So we are focused, Startup and Innovation Collaboratory is focused on supporting our current students, but there are definitely programs that are part of the UB entrepreneurial ecosystem that support our alumni that are interested in engaging in this journey. Our Office of Business and Entrepreneur Partnerships, our friends at the Cultivator, they certainly support alumni as they're starting off, exploring a passion of theirs into a business. So through UB's Business and Entrepreneur Partnerships, the Cultivator program supports alumni. Our office invites alumni to contribute their time and talent as experts, as judges, as mentors, to guide students along the way. And of course, I think the more, as we've been talking, right, we've been focusing on students, but anyone that has that proximity to organizations, to the ecosystem, everyone benefits from making the connections, right? I also would encourage one to explore the Buffalo's boot sector, right? Who hosts the startup coffee every Tuesday mornings that right downstairs in your building in Seneca 1. So I would encourage anyone interested, and of course alumni, to attend that. But reach out if I can offer you an introduction, or if you'd want to join one of our programs. We're always looking for alums to contribute their time and talent to our students.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thank you so much, Hadar. That's great.
Yeah.
And so, all right, gang, everyone watching, we're going to start to wrap it up with Hadar. We got like one or two more questions left for her. So this is your 2-question warning. Drop whatever you have in the chat. If you have any questions for Hadar, if there's anything specifically that we're not asking that you want information on, make sure you get those in the chat. But Hadar, I guess as we look to wrap this up, right, I think, one of the things I would love to hear is, are there any other kind of initiatives, any other upcoming events, any other things that we should be aware of as a community that you all have coming up, or ways that we can support you both as an organization in 43 North and as a community as well?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're right now planning to welcome our students back, right? They just went off, they graduated, but we're already in the thick of things, thinking about the next academic year. So we're going to be kicking off the academic year with Startup Week at UB, and that'll be September 8th through the 15th. And part of that experience will include our semesterly offering Startup Bootcamp. So we're always looking for secret shoppers and mentors and judges for that experience. But be on the lookout, because Startup Week at UB really provides us an opportunity to showcase all things entrepreneurship and innovation that are happening at the University of Buffalo on our North Campus, South Campus, and downtown campus. So that's one of the big highlights. And then looking ahead to next summer, we're really excited to be hosting a new summer camp experience, a youth entrepreneurship program. So be on the lookout for more information on that, because it takes a village, and we need to encourage our students earlier on in their trajectory, kind of helping to seed this in elementary school, high school, right? And so we want to be part of that solution and offer a youth camp next summer.
That's
Exciting.
amazing. That's great. Well, you have two.
In.
I'm gonna say you have two members of the village that for Startup Week, for Startup Camp, for whatever things are, you know how to reach us, and we'll grab some folks from our team and maybe from the floor also to make sure that you're getting the support you need from the 43 North squad and our portfolio companies.
Love it, and so appreciate all that you do already. So thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so all right, here we go. Last question. This one is kind of a softball like the first one, but I'll always love to end on just knowing what advice would you give to, students, or even like you said, right, anyone who's looking to really get involved in this startup and tech scene, anyone who's looking to, flex that innovation muscle that they may have that they may not even be aware of. What advice would you give to those individuals?
I always say it, show up, right? I think it's important being close, being in proximity, experiencing it, show up, experience it. So identify one event that you're going to go to and put yourself out there and walk away with at least one connection and follow up on that connection. It's easy to say hello at an event, but it's harder to follow up. So make sure you show up and follow up on that connection that you've made. And then you'll see it just continue to open up. It's important in this community. We're all about the people that we know, right? Those Buffalo moments. So being open to opportunities to expand your network is really important. That's my advice. Show up.
Great advice. Love that. Well, Hadar, thank you so much for your time. Greatly appreciate you and everything you do. We appreciate you joining us today.
Thank you.
Obviously this will just be a see you later, because I'm sure there's another we'll be at or partnering on soon. So looking forward to it. And obviously looking forward to seeing you and your students at finals, because we know you all are a staple and always there. So we'll see you before then, but if not, we'll definitely see you on 10/10.
Terrific. Thanks so much.
Thanks.
Enjoy. Go Bulls.
All right, that was great. I mean, Hadar is truthfully, one of my favorites in the community.
I would agree.
She's so excellent. And how about that advice?
I mean,
Like, I love that. I feel like we're just getting those nuggets to be able to share with this community. Just show up, right? It's
that's
oftentimes we make things harder than they need to be. Just show up, make a connection, follow up on that connection. Start small, can have a huge impact.
I love it.
All right, we're gonna leave the chat open for like another 30 seconds. But and then from there we'll sign off. But just one other housekeeping thing, right? We have our next office hours coming up. We're gonna keep the location a secret.
Ooh,
until
I don't even think I know.
You don't. Until tomorrow, right? And then we'll drop that on our social channels. So if you haven't had a chance to check out our office hours, you absolutely should. It's a great opportunity. Like I was telling Hadar, right? Real low bar. If you have a question specific to you, your career, a startup you're interested in, or anything like that, office hours is a great space, an easy space to come chat with me and Carly. We kind of pop in and out of some cool spots around town. So this one, I think this next one you'll like. It's pretty good location, pretty easy, but maybe a little sweet treat.
Ooh,
yeah, maybe,
good stuff.
Maybe. But all right, no questions in the chat. Thank you everyone so
Thanks,
much
guys.
for joining us. It's been great as always. I'm Christian Gaddis.
Carly Ortiz.
We will see you on the next episode of Directions.